Hi. I love Blue from Blue's Clues. I think that she's a fantastic protagonist. I don't think she's a super deep character or anything, but I don't think she has to be. I feel like Blue is one of the most heartfelt, caring protagonists of a show that there's been in a long time, and I love how much Blue cares about the other characters in Blue's Clues, and I think there's so much heart when Blue is around. And I felt like ranking the different roles that Blue has had from the three shows and the two films. And I don't think that Blue's ever had a terrible role. So even the role that's in last place, I don't think is anything awful. In fifth place is Blue's role from Blue's Big City Adventure. I love Blue's Big City Adventure. It's one of my favorite films. I think that it's heartwarming. I love the cast. I think there's so much great stuff in it. I love the songs. And there's some characters that get a lot to do, and there are other characters that I feel like don't have a lot of importance to the plot. Blue has a lot of screen time in Blue's Big City Adventure, but she doesn't feel very important to what's going on. Uh, Due to Blue not having all the answers about the theater situation, it feels like Blue's involvement in the story is somewhat minimal. It feels like she's there to help give Josh some support, help him stay optimistic, which I do think is important, but it really feels like it's Mr. Salt is the big character that's there to help Josh on his journey and has uh, the help, the tools and inspiration that Josh would need. So Blue doesn't really feel like a super prominent character in the film, despite how often she appears in it, which is interesting. She's still really likable and a good character, but there's not a lot of really important stuff that she contributes, in my opinion. In fourth place is Blue's role in Blue's big musical movie. I think it's interesting that the first Blue's Clues film doesn't feel that much about Blue. Blue's big musical movie feels like it's about three characters: Steve, Side Table Drawer, and Periwinkle. I feel like they all have their story arcs, which helps elevate it and make it feel like a film rather than a long episode. Blue herself is important for giving out the clues and for the musical being about her, but story wise, Blue doesn't feel heavily involved, and it feels like she isn't as present in the film as she would be in an average episode. She's definitely a good, lovable character, but she doesn't have the biggest role in the film. In third place is Blue's role from Blue's Room. Having Blue talk was really interesting, and I was very curious to see what it would be like. And I feel like it takes some getting used to. It feels like Blue is able to express herself differently, and it feels like Blue has a little bit of a different personality to a certain extent, and it feels like she actually has somewhat of a story arc, meeting new friends, what goes on with Sprinkles. It's a very different sort of role for Blue, and it is interesting. I do have a big attachment to the classic Blue that uh, goes like bow, 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 rather than saying a bunch of stuff. But it was interesting to see Blue's Room, and since it didn't go on for too long, it's hard to know um, how great it would have been and if it could have competed with the original show or not. What Blues Room did get, I think, is good, but not as good as what came before. Although I do think it is underrated, and I do wish it had gone on at least a little bit longer. In second place is Blue's role in Blues Clues and You, a fantastic modern Blues Clues show, in my opinion, that has so much heart. It's so delightful. I really do enjoy Blues Clues and You. Blue in it feels pretty similar to what Blue was like in the original show. Not a huge amount of differences in terms of characterization. The design does feel a bit different because of the style that was done for Blue, with how she was, I think, animated and stuff like that. I think it's CGI or something like that rather than the classic looking animation, and that did take some getting used to. I do like how Blue looks in the show, though. I think it's a very sweet looking design. It's not my personal preference, but I did end up growing attached to it and really enjoying it. In first place, Blue's role, the classic Blue's Clues show, the original show. Such a lovable character, so eager to help others, very eager to learn, to help her friends, to be so deeply caring and passionately sweet. It's really hard to not love Blue in the original Blue's Clues show. Classic design, best design for Blue, great version of Blue. So it's number one. And if you've seen the three Blues Clues shows and the two films, feel free to let me know what your ranking is.